Hello! Hey Bagel Each, how's it going? I am shooting a bit of video. Because the weather's been so bizarrely, unseasonably cool. I'm making some traditional hot drinks, as in cocktails, tonight. I'll put my little banner on. Just shooting a video, won't take long. There's Mimsy off being difficult. Okay. Right. Get my stuff together. Don't leave my home. Put this here. Okay. Hello, Dr. Abigail and Strictly Sega. Just up a bit while I'm see. This will take a minute or two. I'll just put that on. Bright orange light. Mindy, what are you doing with your skulking? Right, is that right? Just got to frame that up. No, we want to come down a little bit. How is that? That's about right. Yeah, I ask you to talk a bit quieter for like 2 minutes.
Oh, you have the video.
Yes. Just 2 minutes. All right, I just had to whisper quiet. Hello. Who's that? Kayla, hello. All right, this will just take a minute. G'day, cocktail lovers. How about a Christmassy cocktail that can warm you up, both literally and figuratively? I'm going with a version of a hot toddy. This is Jeffrey Morgenthaler's recipe for a hot toddy. We start with 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of the whiskey of your choice. Then we just want about a bar spoon of allspice dram. It's going to bring in some nice sort of baking and tropical spice flavors. Wait, what was that? Then we add 1 ounce of a ginger syrup, 3/4 of an ounce. Then we add 1 ounce of ginger syrup and 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, which makes it feel like it's positively medicinal. And then top that with hot water. I build it all just in the glass I'm going to drink it, stir that all in, and there you have Jeffrey Morgenthaler's hot toddy. Wait, where'd I put it? Da, 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 da. And there you have Jeffrey Morgenthaler's hot toddy. Oh, Whether you're in winter or just having unseasonably cold summer weather like we are here in Melbourne, this is just the ticket. I'm going to warm myself up now. I hope you do too. Cheers. All right, now just switch these things off. Stop and switch off. I'm going to make, that's what I'm going to do. Just before I sit down, get some butter out of the fridge, soften it a bit. Alrighty, Dr. Abigail, put pictures of books you've made on Discord. Yes, that's an excellent idea. Excellent unique gifts. Cheers, y'all. Positively medicinal. It's good for me. Oh yeah, crochet projects, book projects. These all sound good, Dr. Abigail. I'm going to turn this banner off because I'm not shooting a video anymore, although I probably will later. Probably even another dark one. Right up. Yeah. Trying to remember what something was on my Discord, and I remembered. Mommy, I remembered. A loaf of bread, container of milk, and a stick of butter. Has anyone else watched Sesame Street 1,000 times in their youth? Still remember stuff from 50 years ago? I think I'm the only one who's been around that long. Glee's not with us. Yes, the endless craft cycle, Dr. Abigail. Need to sell the products, to make the money, to buy the tools, to make better projects. The craft cycle. It's the circle of life, really. Hey, Justin, how you doing? So, I made Jeffrey Morgenthaler's hot toddy. So that's in the doing column now. I might not make... no, I don't. Well, I won't make that tonight. A different hot toddy. But the hot buttered spiced rum. Yes. I need to soften the butter and mix it with my sugar syrup. Yes. Justin, yes, that's what I was responding to on Discord. Megaleech asking how I went. It's like, well, it's in Australia Post's hands now, so... Yes. The circle of craft. What is it? This is bits... It's the ginger, I think. That's the ginger. I was thinking, why is this a bit spicy? It's the ginger. It feels like, Mrs. Angry makes a very nice sick drink that has lemon and honey and ginger in it. This is a very rudimentary compared to Mrs. Angry's bit. Also, I'm not sick. I'm just having a drink because I'm making it. Well, Justin, I just thought, a bit of fun with the Christmas present. I hope it doesn't get crushed. I hope it doesn't leak. I hope it doesn't get stopped as contraband. I hope it doesn't get lost. All these things are things I hope. So, yes. Megalich, we are getting some tech support. Will be happening soon. Specific things are planned. Really surprised how much the ginger's making that spicy. It's I got a ginger cordial from the supermarket, which is nice. Yeah, supermarket cordial is quite nice. And the recipe I was just making said to do an ounce of ginger syrup. So I did half an ounce of the ginger cordial and half an ounce of my lemon sugar syrup. So I didn't put that much ginger in, but I don't consume a lot of ginger, I suppose. So I'm really noticing the spiciness. Oh yes, Justin, we talked about that quite a bit on Tuesday. You know, it's a breakthrough. How long it takes to translate into anything practical is anyone's guess. I don't know if there was a projection of that. I don't know if it's, somewhere between 5 years and never, because again, I haven't read up on this in detail, but having a successful experiment in a lab is a successful experiment in a lab is no guarantee of practical real world applications. It's incredibly promising, and it is the obvious first step. But as to what it actually means, in the Prime Video series, The Man Who Fell to Earth, inspired by the 70s sci-fi film with David Bowie in it. Good series. I recommend it. The Man Who Fell to Earth. But yeah, there's a guy just talk about if you instantly produced, magical eternal fusion drive, the potential for absolute destruction of the world economy, resulting in wars, chaos, etc. The probability of that is quite high. Okay, Dr. Abigail, you read in more detail than me. Article said something about 2030 for a working test reactor. Yeah, and again, because the questions, or they weren't questions, there's a thing a marketing guy said when, so we're like, okay, no, he wasn't a marketing guy, he was a risk analyst. What are the risks if we release this fusion drive? And he just went, the Middle East goes to hell straight away, and all the people who lose their jobs because they were involved in the production of fossil fuel power, and just like, this is not going to be a sudden change. This is going to be a gradual change that, we can but hope those in power plan for in an at least vaguely sensible way, which, okay, that makes me sound like a hopeless optimist, that the powers that be can be vaguely positive and productive, but I live in hope, and so it would be a transitional thing. It wouldn't be a snap, there you go. It would be a transitional thing. So, but again, who knows how humans will react? Humans are idiots. Very smart idiots. I did not make that very hot. I didn't want to scald myself with boiling water. I had a kettle on to boil, and I poured it off before it boiled. But it was all bubbling and stuff. But this is already room temperature, which actually caught me by surprise. I didn't think it would cool down that quickly. But Zingy. All right, I'm going to put this out. I forgot to put lids back on bottles over here. I'm just going to do that. Let's see, that's the pimento dram. The ginger cordial. All right, that's what's it. Ooh, that's what I was going to do tonight. Although, I might wait to see if Kirsten's going to join us, because I got the new Archie Rose entry-level gin, and I was going to do a taste comparison with other gins I have. See where I think it fits. But maybe I'll wait for Kirsten, or I'll wait a while and see if Kirsten arrives. And I will. I think I'll have some of my. No, I'm going to put this around here because that's where I'll want it next. That's also somewhat out of the way if I put it there. All right, get some ice. Legos what the pussy gets. Justin, that carbon sucking devices fusion, that sounds fanciful in the extreme. Not saying it's impossible, I'm just saying it doesn't sound that grounded in current reality. It sounds like it would require the invention of multiple different groundbreaking things. Mimsy's come to say hello. Why have you come in to say hello, Mimsy? Do you think I have food? Is that what you think? Because I don't. I really don't. Okay. Get my big old urine sample. Pour it over some ice. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why Mimsy's joined us so early, but you've got this funny feeling like I might feed you something. I do not have any cat-suitable food, so yeah, she's bored. She's going to bugger off now. I can see her getting ready to leap. She's just picking a landing spot. You're going to jump on me, aren't you? Yeah, just don't dig your claws in. Okay. So, orange peel for my garnish, because I'm a classy motherfucker. Orange. What are you doing, you weird fucking cat? What, could you detect that noise of me squeezing an orange? Oh god, she's going in a little cubby hole. What? God, she's been a fucking weirdo. I have moving boxes because moving sucks. Yes. Okay, I like to maintain a high standard of classiness. Yeah. No two ways about it, Dr. Abigail. Moving sucks, but, hopefully the move is to a better place. And then, well, not so much that you think it's going to be worth it, but, you survive it. Maybe she's getting away from the citrus fumes. They seem to attract her. And I squeezed my orange peel and released the oils. I was listening to music before coming on, sort of 80s music. Got the jams going underground stuck in my head at the moment. That's one of the ones I listen to. Oh, nice. Justin. Referees contacted. Might be permanent in your job. Nice. Love to see it. What are you doing? She's down here. Weird cat. Weird cat just hovering around. Don't know what you want. We're still... Sorry, let's got this sitting here, doing nothing much. Did anyone remember this? Oh my god, I've got some more of this ridiculous junk mail. I should go get it. It's probably not any good. Like, it's not even so bad. It's funny. But I do like this. My membership, because I've publicly confessed Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, and I was fully received into full membership of the Family Worship Centre. I don't know if someone paid for that or not, or if they give those out for free. I'm going to get the other junk mail because I did actually get some other junk mails just in the other room. I forgot about it. All right, found my junk mail. Oh god, Mimsy is literally going over there eating bread because she's weird. Okay. So, junk mail from that same religious group. Tomorrow's World. I feel like the people at the post office probably get too much crap to even notice the amount of weirdo religious stuff I get. Germany and prophecy. Well, that sounds like fun. Greetings from Charlotte, North Carolina. What a turnaround. Talking up Germany rearming in the light of Russia. Bible prophecy makes up at least a quarter of the Bible. Wow, they're just making shit up. We're at a tipping point in our world. Germany will become an increasingly important player of the world scene in the next few years as we close in on the end of time of Christ's return. Sorry, end of the age and the time of Christ's return. We hope you'll take us up on an offer to give you a free resource. Germany in Prophecy. Wow, fucking weirdos. Musical Aviator, teaching trumpet lessons. Hoping to raise trumpet protege among the lark group in the Elf Polyhouse. Life Girl 22 had about 5-year gap since playing. Oh, well. Get back into it. But that's just a letter. This is the magazine from the same fucking weirdos. Usually the only thing I find amusing in here is the name of songs on the Christian music CDs and how often they sound like they're about kinky sex, basically. Ooh, that's fun. Shitting on the UK. Where have the real leaders gone? The fiasco in the UK is merely a symptom of a global problem. Well, that's actually slightly difficult to argue with. Leadership crisis. Except their idea of real leadership is, of course, some fucking fruitcake, ultra-conservative interpretation of the Bible. No black belt for me. Yeah. Oh, Canada. Far less slavery in Canada. Well, isn't that good? A uniquely special throne. I just hear Mimsy making weird noises. It's very weird. Oh my god. Sorry. I may actually read this article. Why Satan Loves Christmas. Could the most famous Christian day be one of the devil's favorites? Most people dismiss commercialism, pagan influence, and possibility of a December 25th birth, take comforting slogans such as "Put Christ back in Christmas." But how many professing Christians would feel comfortable celebrating Christmas if they understood you cannot put Christ back in Christmas because Christmas is satanic? Yeah, this is the real shit here. Well, it's pagan. It's not satanic, it's pagan. Many understand before Christmas was Roman Saturnalia, upon which Christmas is founded. Saturnalia was simply an adaptation of something earlier, Persian Mithraism. In Mithraism, midwinter festivals begin worship of Zervan. Celebrations ended on December 24th. Romans adopted Mithraism in the form of Saturnalia. Pagan god Zervan was depicted as winged, part human, part lion figure. Wow. Even Roman Saturnalia, Persian Mithraism were remnants of an even earlier mystery religion, Babylonian mystery cult. Now I think they're making stuff up. Yes, the Christians are waging war on Christmas. The only people to have ever successfully banned Christmas are Christians. Well, and the communists, I guess. That was a fatuous comment. Lots of people have suppressed Christmas. Good luck getting Christians to give up on Christmas. Is God punishing the United States of America? Well, I hope so. What is happening to America? Why is everything seemingly going wrong? Questions and answer. Did the Archangel Michael become Jesus Christ? Some believe Jude 9 is evidence Jesus Christ and Archangel Michael are the same being. Reasoning is the term archangel, from Greek archangelos, singular, must refer to the existence of one supreme archangel. The assumption, an incorrect one, is the returning Christ must therefore be the same spirit as Archangel Michael. There you go. I didn't know anyone thought that. Is Christmas Christian? I fucking love that one. Ooh, thinking biblically about entertainment. That's going to be a bit of fun, isn't it? Well, Christmas being Satan's favorite was, that was a high point for me this evening, honestly. God, that drink is yummy. Okay. And this is from Jimmy Swaggart Ministries, which they say is worth 50 cents. And I think that's overstating it. This is actually sent to me from the United States. That's wild. How much money did they waste? Absolutely wild to me. Anyway, this is a long way from the most expensive thing that's been sent to me by these weirdos. Okay. Oh, I think these guys are maybe well into Christmas. Celebrate the season. They're too scared to say Merry Christmas. The Law by Jimmy Swaggart. Judge, I am the law. Oh, come let us adore him. The first Noel came upon a Christmas clear, away in a manger. What was Jesus Christ like? Special books. The Rapture, How the Holy Spirit Works. Future of Israel. The Fall of Man. Ooh, all CDs. They're only $12 each. Get them while they're hot. Can I really understand prophecy? Yes. Now you can. At a bargain price as well. What I hate, that do I. Is that why you're having rampant sex? You actually hate it? Again, these people are such gross hypocrites. No, is there anything I can just make fun of? Most of it's just boring. Resurrection Camp Meeting 2023. Yeah. I'm not saying I hope they all get COVID, but you know. I want the biblical coloring books, actually. I kind of want the biblical coloring books. My most memorable Christmas ever. How is the servants? So is this abide, walk, continue from Christ? It's just reminding me of the old Doug Anthony All-Stars song, Commies for Christ. Oof. Music there. Do you think for more traditional, St. John's Southgate is doing Bach's Christmas Oratorio on Christmas Day on period instruments? That actually sounds like an experience. I was going to say fun. Fun might be the wrong word. Sounds like an experience, though. Oh. What is this? I'm so bad with describing tastes. Trying to describe what this tastes like. It's extremely sweet for a start. I probably put slightly too much sugar syrup in it. It's very sweet, very fruity. I think it's the pineapple coming through. I'm trying to think it's almost grapey, but it's actually the pineapple. I did put pineapple juice in there. So, Megalich, your youngest, and you went shopping for manga in Launceston. Christian manga about Jesus. That sounds great. Because, yeah, Christian comics, broadly, fucking wild. I remember seeing Christian Archie comics that were trippy AF. Of course, nothing beats the Jack Chick tracts, Tracts. They're not so common anymore, but they were printed. They were little cheaply printed black and white booklets this big. They would just be railing against the evils of the world, and it was so funny. Is like because Jack Chick was such a fringe cult splinter of Christianity, he would at different times he would rail against every mainstream Christian denomination as being satanic. It was fucking wild. It was really hard to work out what he was on because he'd condemn Islam, he'd condemn Judaism, then he goes and condemns Christianity, and it's kind of like, who the fuck are you? But he's just those were all in his mind false sects. I just remember this is a weird thing. A deleted or never shot scene from the life of Brian, an alternative. Anyone who's seen the life of Brian, when Brian is preaching and the crowd's not really into what he's saying, and he's trying to do it so the Romans don't realize he's escaping. And he gets on a roll at one point, and after saying blessed is whatever, and he says, cursed are those who join false sects. And someone suddenly gets interested and goes, oh, did you say cursed are those who enjoy forced sex? And it's like, no. Blessed are the cheesemakers. And he just ends up going, because he attracts a crowd, he just ends up going on this really explicit sexual thing that goes on for ages. That scene was in their book about the Holy Grail. So I don't know if that was a deleted scene or it was never actually shot. It was from an earlier version of the script. But yes. Yes, well, Dr. Ariel, obviously that's not meant to be taken literally. It refers to all producers of dairy goods. So what did he say then? Blessed is the Greek. Oh, which Greek? Did anyone catch his name? It's funny when you go back and because there are interviews, TV shows from the time of the release of the movie. I didn't realize, I was too young to realize, particularly in England, there was a huge objection to the movie being released. Oh, it's blasphemous, and the Pythons would go on the various news and talk shows and say it's not about Jesus. In fact, we explicitly show that it isn't, because there's nothing funny about Jesus. What's funny are the overly zealous followers. That's where the humor is, which would actually probably explain why the various churches were very upset by it, because it was making fun of the holy people in the church and the people they swindle, fool in the churches. There was also a very funny scene in this book. It's not in the movie again. I don't know if they deleted scene or they never shot it, but with the Suicide Squad, because they just appear momentarily when Brian's on the cross, and the Romans panic and run like, "Oh God, it's the Suicide Squad!" And these guys come running up, and then sort of tear a hole in the clothes they're wearing and stab themselves in the chest because they're a Suicide Squad. There's a scene in the book where it comes much earlier. You see the Suicide Squad and they go running in, and everyone except the leader, stab and goes down. And then the leader says, "See, that's not a one of us who won't commit to the cause." And then one of the supposedly dead Suicide Squad on the ground farts, and another one laughs, and the guy's upset, like, "Did you guys not really do it?" And then they embarrassedly get up and go, "No," and he sort of admonishes them and sends them on their way. And then like another one of them laughs. And he's like, "Is there another one?" And it just turns out that no one in the Suicide Squad actually carried through, and the leader's very upset with him. And so what is in the movie, when the Suicide Squad all go, that'll show them, when the final song's going, "Always Look on the Bright Side of Life," the Suicide Squad on the ground, their feet are rocking to the rhythm of the song. So without this earlier scene that established they don't actually go through with it, that's just a funny thing, their feet moving. But if that earlier scene was in there, that would be a callback to, they didn't really go through with it, because they say they will and then they don't. God, I'm in danger of just bloody repeating Monty Python routines now. I was remembering the stoning scene. I fucking love the stoning scene. And no one throws a stone. And even if they say, and let me be perfectly clear, even if they say Jehovah. But I prefer the Holy Grail, actually. I think the Holy Grail is funnier. Life of Brian's maybe like a clearer concept, and people can have fun because you're making fun of some of the ridiculous aspects of religious belief and believers, whereas Holy Grail's just kind of all over the place, just random silliness. But that's what I like about it. That just appeals to me more. Even if when you get to the ending, you think, yeah, I think they just didn't know how to end it. And they just came up with this really fucking weird ending. I think it works, but Life of Brian is structured as a more straightforward film, whereas Holy Grail is super fucking weird, and it is arguably a bunch of isolated sketches that don't really come together into a greater whole, even though ostensibly it's the story of Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table on the quest to find the Holy Grail. It's not really as coherent and traditional structure-wise as the Life of Brian is. Anyway, I am going to do my gin tasting. Let's get some gins. The new one. Maybe this one. No, actually, an expensive one. An expensive one down here. Which one's that? That's Aquavit. And that's Jennifer. Wo ist the gin? Okay, bone dry. Gosh darn it. Is that it? That's it. All right. Doing some gin tasting. Ooh, I haven't opened this one. My replacement bottle of Archiro's Bone Dry Gin. Come on. Got to tear along the dotted line. Okay. Got that sodding plastic off. Okay. So, this is Archie Rose's new Straight Dry Gin. They're fundamental spirits. So these are cheaper than the rest of their range. They're doing a vodka, a gin, and next year a whiskey. And it'd be good if this got more people into Australian spirits, basically. Because if the price is less scary... So yes, bone dry and never, never beeswax and olive gin. Well, that's a good noise. That did not want to come off in a hurry. All right. Much more expensive gins. I'm going to compare them. So, the fundamental gin. No. Okay, sorry, Dr. Abigail. This one, the newest Archie Rose, their fundamental spirits, straight dry gin. There's not a lot of aroma on this. A little bit of juniper. That sort of pine smell you get from juniper. Now, the Archie Rose Bone Dry. Much, much more juniper on the nose on that one. And the Never Never Beeswax and Olive. Yeah, I suppose gin. Oh, you got some today too. Have you tried it yet? This is my first taste of it. So oh man, yum. It's quite sweet. It's initially surprisingly sweet. You can scan the QR code to discover the process and provenance. Independently made, locally sourced, obsessively crafted. Straight jar gin, cold distilled, local and reclaimed Australian botanicals to form an uncommon, easy foundation for your favourite drinks. Made in good spirits. Oh no, your soda stream died. Don't have any mixers. Yeah, I'm just having a little bit straight. I mean, it's got that obvious juniper. Wow, that is surprisingly sweet. Surprising to me. I wasn't expecting to find it sweet. Do a palate rinse between tastes. Fill up the glass. Peeing ASMR. All right. Megally think Vegemite should be the mixer. So, there's much more juniper on this. Wow, I do like this one. Much more intense taste. Much more juniper forward. Still really yummy. Man, this is really good entry-level gin. Like for people who maybe think they're not that big on gin. And Never Never's Beeswax and Olive Gin. I don't know if it's the power of suggestion, because it says beeswax, but this has a slightly honeyish vibe to me. Yum. Really nice. Ooh. I mean, there's some follow through on the palate, that Never Never one. So I'm going to put a little bit of ice in each of them. See if that changes the flavour. Because it often does change the flavour. Close fridge. All right. Oh, god damn, that's easy to drink. It's like that's made for gin and tonic. Man. Oh, I hope this does well for them and raises the profile of Australian spirits generally. Because it's much cheaper than this one. Damn, I like this one in martinis, though. Is there a fun way today to make an extra dry martini? It's like you get your mixing glass with ice in it and you put a measure of vermouth in there, half an ounce, maybe an ounce, and you stir, and then you strain out the vermouth. It'll be vermouth and water, but you strain that out, and then you put your gin in that ice and stir, and that's your martini. So you've basically just got traces of vermouth in there, like the vermouth that's clung to the glass and the ice, and then you've just got a really icy, very dry martini. I thought, in fact, I might even make it. Maybe I'll make a martini with this, a dry martini with this. With that, I'm not going to chuck the vermouth out. That's what Stanley Tucci said to do. Chuck it out. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'll drain it off, have it as a shot on the side. Oh, fucking hell. I never would have believed I'd get so into gin. But I really enjoy all of these. Not that I spend a lot of time drinking straight gin, but these are yummy. Okay. So, yes, I also agree with Dr. Abigail Megalich. You should be in the naughty chair. Trouble is, I think you'd enjoy it. That was Kenny Everett with his kinky, uptight, conservative Londoner, angry of Mayfair, wearing that suit with pinstripe suit and with a bowler hat, and he'd berate the audience for being terrible and awful, and then he'd walk off. When he walks off, you see there's no back to his suit, and he's wearing lacy women's underwear, stockings, and suspenders. The British upper class and their kinks. All right. I was going to make another hot cocktail. I think I will actually make this martini. Nettie comes into the chat, Heine. Nobody not so much, since I said the thing about my somewhat negative opinion about religion. And he assures me he's not angry at me, but he just doesn't want to make a scene, which he's worried he'd do in the stream, and needs to look after his mental health, which I agreed was a good and positive thing that he should do. I think Nettie was dealing with some stuff today as well, based on what I saw posted on the socials. Holy shit, I forgot this. God damn. Ugh. My caramel Toblerone. I have to do something with this. It's going to fat wash something with that. Mimsy's come back again. Yes. You're just wanting attention? They are playing video games and not paying any attention to you, and it's all unfair? could have been both of us, Dr. Abigail. This was a conversation that we're both having, but Uh, that's a riskier run if, and yeah, he's fine with it. But yes, if you are strongly religious and hanging out in an atheist's live stream, things might be said that you find a bit personal, even if they're not intended to be personal. He's more than a bit religious, honey. Yes, um, uh, very actively involved in his local church, which seems like a positive thing for him. So I'm all for people taking their own positives, basically. Put this in here. Put this in here. And oh, I must have put my stirring glass in the dishwasher. I'll just go get that. Ah. I did. That's what I did. All right, my stirring glass. All right. No, honey, he's quite deeply involved in his church. Some ice. That's enough ice. Yeah, people say you should fill it up, and I'm just like, oh, get over yourself. Now I'm going to do an experiment. What on earth? Wait, what the hell is that? God, I'm losing track of what pre-made cocktails I have in here. Mrs. Angry always says I should put labels on them. She's right. I'm going to call this a martini blush. See if this makes it go pink at all. I need my jigger. Okay. Oh, I need a glass as well. I think I will use this coupe rather than one of my huge martini glasses. All right. So, experiment time. Do 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 do. Okay. So, okay. Now, in deference to people with headphones on, I'll turn my microphone off for a little while I stir this. So, there's going to be silence. Okay, it's that little experiment. I forgot to get my strainer when I was up before. I'll get it now. Okay, so now I strain this out. Strain this out. Right. And then I add this in and get it super chill. Okay. All right, I'm going to turn the microphone off again. All right, stirring done. Strain this into my glass. There is the faintest rose tinge. I think I can do this for my cocktail channel. Call it a martini blush, maybe. Very, very faintest pink rose tinge. Yum. Oh, yum. That's pretty good. Hiya, Safa. Okay, I shall mark that down as something for my cocktail channel. Yum. Oh, man, that's really good. So that's slightly diluted that, not slightly, that has diluted that gin. And there's just a wisp of the red thing called Coqui Rosa, which is based on red varietal wines unique to our region, famous for imparting notes of wild roses, summer berries. This is blended with herbs, fruit, spices, notably gentian, cinchona, and citrus. Brilliant color is 100% natural, enjoyed on ice, with soda, sparkling wine, a twist of lemon, or grapefruit. This is Italiano. It's an Italian aromatized wine. Aperitif wine. Slightly bitter. It's not like Campari bitter, but it is slightly bitter. That's fucking yum. That is fucking good. Oofed. All right. Spill something well. So I hope this does well for Archie Rose. So embossed on the bottle here, Archie Rouge Australia. I probably won't keep the bottle. I kept my gospel whiskey bottles because there's all just elaborately embossed and made in Melbourne. So I did kept two of those. So when the third one's empty, I'm going to chuck it out. Or put it in recycling. So just don't have the space to keep keeping bottles. Keeping them on the sort of practical and functional basis. Safa getting closer to finishing Andor. Hope you enjoy it, man. I found it to be quite enjoyable to watch. Yeah, I just really, really appreciated the world building in Andor and the characters. The characters are fucking great. Just what will people give up for the rebellion? Because when they see the unstoppable, implacable expansion of the empire, and The fascism and repression just gets worse and worse. That's like, okay, what are you going to give up to stop this? Oh, nice. Rogue One. Yeah, well, see, I used to buy lots of physical media, which is how I actually validate the cost of streaming services, because it's less than I spent on physical media, particularly box sets of TV shows. And there's, just no end of fucking complete seasons on the various streaming services. Oh, you got on my recommendation. Okay. Hope you like it. Well, it's, in my humble opinion, the best Star Wars movie, because it's the only one where it's like real. It's like real people. It's the idea of it's not an epic hero's quest. It's not the saga. It's not the Jedi. It's the ordinary people who are down in the fucking mud of the, because it's not a bright and shiny rebellion. It's a fucking war. It's a multi-planetary war, and it's nasty as fuck. Mm. Okay, this is one of those drinks where I feel a bit self-conscious, because every time I have a sip, I feel compelled to go, man, good fucking drink. Yeah, Heine, I have to admit, oh well, I don't have a TV that shows off that. I again, because there's one above 4K now in physical media. Coming back again, Mimsy. Wayward Kitty Cat. Coming in and out. Yeah, you're back. Yeah, let's have more Mimsy. Let's have more Mimsy on the stream. Safa, everything is in Australia Post's hands at the moment, so we'll see how long it takes them. Won't we, Mimsy? Yes. It's Australia Post. We don't know how long they're going to take. Yes. Strawberry, so with 8K, there's OLED TVs look almost like real life. Yeah. And they're freakishly huge. Some of the TVs now are just freakishly fucking huge. So, but I'm fine with my TV. Oh, no, nothing to worry about, Mega Leech. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. Fuck, that was good. Yum. This is a good gin for people who say they aren't into gin. Because it's got that classic gin flavor, the juniper. But it's light and it's sweeter than I expected. I have no idea what you're trying to. Oh, tracking numbers. You're not going to get tracking numbers. You get it when you get it. That's all there is to it. Oh, gosh. Okay. Getting a bit more Wasser. Oh. See, and then as an additional treat, I have my aperitif. It's an incredible mix of sweet and bitter. Because, it's made from a sweet red wine, but they add some botanicals to it with bitterness. It's pretty wild. The fact that it tastes sweet and bitter at the same time. Like it's sweet almost like a lolly. And then this bitterness comes through. Again, not overpowering. Like anyone who knows me knows I hate Campari, which is the notorious Italian bitter aperitif. It's super fucking bitter. I mean, this is actually probably slightly more bitter than I like. Like I would not normally sit here and drink this, but it's a byproduct of what I just made. Again, very interesting. How can something be sweet and bitter at the same time? Because it has different things in it and they stimulate different sensations on your tongue. Remember when people thought it was literally different sections of your tongue that tasted different things? One part tasted sweet, one tasted salty, one tasted bitter, one tasted sour, one tasted umami, and that's not true. That's not true. I just got a mail notification popped up that freaked me out a bit. Saf, I drink lots of water. I've drunk half of what I've drunk this stream's been water. Mainly because I was washing my mouth out between tasting different things. And so I ended up drinking a lot of water. But thank you for being my conscience, Safa. Drink enough water. There's the thing, I got my fridge right here with my chilled water while I'm working. So, and it's an excuse to get up, whether I'm here or in the office. It's an excuse to get up out of my chair, walk around a bit, is to get some water. Thank you, Kayla. I'm glad you're concerned for my well-being as well. You had a tropical whopper. I made some fried chicken. It was yummy. I prepared it myself. And a mix of breadcrumby stuff for it. And were we saying excuses? What excuses for me drinking water? I'm not sure. So it was pretty simple. It was, like I prepared some chicken thighs. Actually, this is Adam Liaw's recipe. A guy who, I think he was an early MasterChef winner. Got a show on SBS now, which is pretty good. Adam Liaw. I'm very bad with pronunciation of people's names. Adam Liaw. But he said, like people often coat chicken in egg before putting it in flour or breadcrumbs to fry it. His recommendation, coat it in mayonnaise. And I've done that several times, and it's good. So I had panko breadcrumbs and some flavored breadcrumbs. Just stuff from the supermarket. And simple, just coated in mayonnaise, crumbed it, shallow pan fried it, and it was super fucking yummy. It was really good. I make that sort of fried chicken semi-regularly. Safi, you love mayonnaise. I used Kewpie mayonnaise, the Japanese mayonnaise, which I think is really yummy. And it worked really well. Super tasty. Yes, so, and I've got leftovers. So I'll make something with them tomorrow. Might be as simple as a sandwich. Or, I might get involved. I might chop it up and mix it with them. I might make a pasta bake. That'd be yum. Might make a pasta bake with some chicken in it. Sounds pretty yum. So we're all mayonnaise fans here. Nice. And I like aioli as well, which I think is just fancy mayonnaise. Mayonnaise with garlic in it. All right. So we didn't have a Kirsten tonight, but I now feel confident telling her the new gin is yummy. And I hope it does well for them. Who does Christmas cooking? We share Christmas cooking, I guess. Depends what we're cooking. Here's the thing I often do. I'm one of those people, buy the theme stuff the day after the event. I've found in recent years, just after Christmas, all their roasts are really fucking cheap. So after Christmas, I go to the supermarket to see if I can get cheap roasts. And then we'll make some roast dinners. Kayla's on the Gold Coast. There you go. So yeah, who's cooking will vary depending on what's happening. I cook a lot of my own food. I cook a lot for my offspring. Mrs. Angry cooks some yummy stuff. She sometimes has stuff I've cooked. I sometimes have stuff she cooked. She makes fucking fantastic soups, actually. But yeah, we mix it up. Why roast when we can roast you here free? That's true. That is also a thing that happens. But cheap ones. All right. I'm going to clear a few things so I don't knock something over and break it on a stream. That would be embarrassing. All right. Oof. Okay. It's time to. Okay. I had this butter sitting out to soften a bit because I was going to make some hot buttered rum. I'm not doing that now. I might make it tomorrow night. Hot buttered rum tomorrow night. Oh, you're still here, Mimsy. I kind of forgot you were still here. Kind of forgot about you. Sorry about that. I am going to have... What do we got here? Didn't fucking label these. Jesus. Man, I should have fucking labeled these. Have a bit of this. It's time to light the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to meet the Muppets on the Muppet Show. Bo, bo, bo. Has Mimsy had a shower? Speaking of home cooked, the cookers. Oh, the fucking weirdo cookers, the conspiracy nuts, the anti-vaxxers. They're awfully defensive. Now some of their number killed people. I think there's a teeny bit where they're going, ooh, I think this is going to blow back on us. But I don't know. These people are fucking disconnected from reality. Ooh. Still playing with a 3D printer. Complex. I just finished an audiobook, Project Hail Mary, written by the same guy who wrote The Martian. Andy Weir. He's most famous for The Martian. Project Hail Mary has a lot of similarities to The Martian, and he tries to bring in as much hard science and mathematics as possible. It's basically an astronaut on an interstellar mission to try and save Earth because some weird interstellar microbe is absorbing the sun's energy, and Earth is going to be plunged into an ice age, which will be bad. And so he's sent on this, and the ship's called the Hail Mary because it's the last desperate Hail Mary to save the Earth. It's good. It's really interesting. The audiobook is interesting. Now, and actually, this is a thing I wanted to discuss. I might do this on a night when we have a few people on Angry Bunch, because I think this would be a fun conversation topic. This has been on a number of audiobooks I've listened to with one person reading, narrating, and characters in the books are multi-ethnic. And so there's accents. And so the narrator is to do all these different accents. And I was thinking, how far is this from blackface? Like doing the accents. And I think that is the basis of a really interesting discussion. Because again, in a couple, this is in Hail Mary, the characters are from all around the world. So the narrator is doing a spectrum of European accents, African, Asian accents. They're all done respectfully. There's no, oh, goodness gracious me. But I was just thinking, this is kind of fascinating. Even though it's done with the best intentions and it's done elegantly, is it going to feel like blackface in 10 or 20 years? That you had someone doing all these accents. I don't know. I certainly am not criticizing the people doing it. It's a particular skill to do these things, but it's interesting. And I won't do any spoilers for Project Hail Mary, but the guy's always doing experiments to understand his environment. So there's a lot of science thrown in there and a lot of maths thrown in for the experiments. And he's describing another thing. He's trying to work out a relativistic velocity, I think. And he's saying, so it's this and this. And I could do the math to verify, I guess. You know what? It's going to bug me if I don't. And so then he does the maths to validate the hypothesis he has in his head. It was just so nicely done, where he's just going like, hey, I'm going to do that, that, and that. This will do that because of that. That's what I'm expecting to see. And I could do the math to back it up, but I'm busy. Oh, you know what? It's going to bug me if I don't. So he does the mathematics to validate what he's doing. Getting good off. Again, it's a really, really good book. I really enjoyed it. And the audiobook is very good. So now I've got to choose another audiobook. So yeah, so far this year, I've done several good, thought-provoking nonfiction. I've done some really good fiction that I've enjoyed. Some sci-fi, some just regular fiction. I have to decide what the next thing's got. I've actually got some things. I think they were free on the book app. What's it called? God, oh, sorry. I'm several drinks in. My brain's fucking forgotten. But Audible. That's it. Jesus Christ, Audible. So yes, I think that I've got some free ones, and they're like full-length books. So it's like, yeah, cool. Oh man, that's that yummy gin one I made. Lucino's Delight. It's like a sweet martini. It's fucking yum. It's really nice. So I'm saying Henry Cavill's no longer Superman. I know he's a busy guy. He's not being Geralt in Witcher anymore. I thought that was because he was tied up in DC stuff. He's a busy guy. He's a great Superman, I think. A possibly unpopular opinion. I think Man of Steel is really quite good. Batman vs Superman and Justice League, they're okay. Oh, and I did watch Snyder's Justice League as well. So yeah, I saw the theatrical release and Snyder's version. I thought the different choices in terms of character actions and plot and whatnot were interesting. That's pretty much my summary review of it as well, Dr. Abgal. Certainly has faults, but I really like it. I've had Audible for about a year, Safa. No, just over a year. I've had Audible for just over a year. A couple of years ago, I did a very short trial of it, and they were like, "Yo, you can have a free book." And so I got literally the longest fiction book they have on Audible, which is written by Alan Moore, a writer I like. And it was a good fucking book. It was so fucking long. Like, I was commuting. I was working in Footscray, and I was driving. So the commute was like an hour each way. And it took a month of this commute to get through this book. Super long. Like, this was published as a print book, and apparently I don't know that it's the biggest fiction book published ever, but it's the biggest fiction book published for a long time. It's like 1,500 pages or something, apparently. It's fucking huge. Yeah. I also found some short, I suppose they're novellas on Audible by a sci-fi writer I like, John Scalzi. And the first one's called The Dispatcher. And I've mentioned this on streams before. The story is, for reasons no one understands, murdered people come back. Like, not as zombies or something. It's like 999 times out of 1,000, at least, people who are murdered, when they're murdered, their body disappears and it reappears usually in their home, somewhere they feel safe, but like nude. So, you know, it's very hard to murder someone in this world. But a job's created called the dispatcher. They tend to work in hospitals, people undergoing serious surgery. If something's going wrong with the surgery and the patient's going to die on the table, the dispatcher basically puts a bullet in their head, like the dispatcher murders them. And so 999 times out of 1,000, that person will actually come back and they can attempt the surgery again. Yeah, it just goes in some really interesting directions. The central character gets involved with some really serious crimes. It's narrated by Zachary Quinto, who's Spock in the recent Star Trek movies. And he's a good narrator. He's a good reader. And John Scalzi got famous writing a book called Red Shirts, which was inspired by the idea that the red-shirted ensigns in the original Star Trek died all the time on away missions. It's kind of like if they do an away mission and there's 3 core cast members and an anonymous red-shirted ensign, that ensign's going to die? No, Dr. Abigail, it's pretty much instant. Within a couple of seconds of the person being murdered, the body vanishes and they just sort of pop back into existence wherever. Do they experience anything? And no, there's no mention of extensive studies of the effect, but the protagonist across the three stories, they're more novellas than anything. He actually does get murdered at one point. It's to serve someone's purposes. Like, they're not trying to get rid of him. It's literally so he wouldn't be in one place. He'd be in another place. And yeah, one of the stories is called Travel by Bullet. And it's kind of like, if you are outside of your home country, and there's some extraordinarily pressing reason to be back in your home, if someone murders you, 999 times out of 1,000, you'll just appear in your own home. So you instantaneously travel between countries. Handy if authorities are after you and they're going to prosecute you. If someone shoots you in the head, you're either dead or back in your home. But yes, the protagonist who does get murdered does not like the experience. He feels physically sick when he wakes up in his own home. There's never, I don't know, Scalzi might write long enough. He might do more of these to explore why this started happening, because no one knows why it's happening. Is it evidence of God? Is it evidence of lack of God? No one knows why it's happening. There's no explanation for why it suddenly started happening. Have people detected people traveling while dead this way? Yeah, no. Those are all excellent questions, and I love them. In the context of the stories, nobody understands anything about it. No one knows why it happens. No one knows why in 1 in 1,000 cases it doesn't work. But Scalzi plays with it really well. There's some really interesting plot points that turn on people being dead. Oh, and also criminals work out a particular... Because what happens is when you pop back into your body, you pop back into the state you were a couple of hours. Yes, Megaleech, you're right. When you pop back into your body, you pop back into a state that you were several hours earlier. So some particularly nasty criminals work out that if they can get someone in a very isolated area where no one could hear them and imprison them and starve them, that person's fucked, because they are going to a very slow death, and when they finally die, they just pop back a few hours, but they're just a few hours away from an awful death. So you can do this terrible fucking thing to people, which is arguably worse than death. So if someone who's put in this awful state, that they keep dying because their body is so damaged, when they pop back, they can't be saved. Oh, look at Megaleech and Dr. Abigail asking the same questions. Do you lose several hours of memory? Sorry, Mimsy's just rubbing her face on things over here. Well, see, that's a fun thing, Dr. Abigail. Edge cases, murder, accidents. In a lot of cases, what criminals do is try to compel someone to commit suicide. It's like, if you don't kill yourself, I'm going to kidnap, torture everyone you know. And that's like this close to being murder when you actually compel someone to commit suicide. But on a technicality, it's not murder. So yeah, criminals actually get extremely creative in how they deal with people they want to deal with. And yes, that is self-murder. Well, see, that's the thing. No one knows what force is defining murder, but the evidence is when you die because of the actions, and again, not accidents. Accidents don't count. For whatever reason, when the premeditated action of someone kills you, you come back. So if you are killed in a car accident, that's literally an accident, that's it, you're dead. But if you were killed in a collision where someone deliberately rammed you with the intent of killing you, you'll come back. So what does it all mean? And yes, people are asking all the questions about, what does it mean? Does this mean there is a God? Does this mean there isn't a God? What? Why is this happening? And that's not ever answered. So yeah, it's they are fun. They are basically fun stories with a bunch of unanswered questions. And Megaleech and Dr. Abigail, you're both very good at asking the incredibly pertinent questions. But they were fun stories. I quite enjoyed them. And Scalzi's red shirts was also fun, but you could kind of tell it was I think it was his first novel, and it's read by Will Wheaton, and many, if not all, of his novels are read by Will Wheaton. And Red Shirts, the audiobook, gets incredibly grating because the way it's written is like say there's 4 characters. The whole thing with dialogue is blah blah blah. He said blah blah blah. She said blah blah blah. He said blah. And I was going, Jesus fucking Christ! Why is it just he said, she said, he said, he said, he said, she said, she said? Why do you not do something else except why not responded? Inquire. It's just he said, and I found that really grating. But I did listen to another Scalzi audiobook called The Collapsing Empire. Didn't have that problem. Was it? Wait, is it read by Will Wheaton? I was about to say it's not read by Will Wheaton, but I think it might be. It was fun. It didn't have that flaw. I think that's very much a sign of a first novel. Let's go over it. Can you become immortal by gathering criminals, getting assassinated? Well, eventually you'll die of old age or disease or whatever, and then you're just dead. How far back? If I shoot a tree, bullet lodges in it, 40 years later, man shoots him. That would be an accident. The killing has to be, in the context of these stories, has to be direct and intentional. And in terms of a Rube Goldberg machine, only, again, in the context of the stories, intent matters. So if your Rube Goldberg series of events was designed to kill a specific person and it killed that person, I think that would be murder. But if your intention was to kill a specific person and some rando walked into the wrong place at the wrong time and got killed, I think that might be an accident. I don't know. And yeah, and that the 1 in 1,000 chance does come into several story elements. I don't know that there are any timers that work like that musical aviator. But again, if you put a bomb with an intention to kill, I think that would be murder. But if someone's walking past the house when the house blows up and they were not the intended target, is that an accident or a murder? I don't know. That didn't happen in the story. But there was a whole lot of convoluted things that involved torture and compelling people to suicide and all these things. And also chopping bits off people and saying, if you don't do a task for me in X hours, I'll start chopping bits off this person you care about. And then even if they die, they'll come back missing bits. So you better hurry. So there's some fairly diabolical stuff that happens in these stories. They're very entertaining. Scalzi's a pretty good writer. He also wrote, if you've ever watched the animation anthologies on Netflix called Love, Death and Robots, Scalzi wrote multiple stories for those. In fact, he wrote some of the best ones. He's quite a good writer. He's very entertaining. I follow him on Twitter just because he's like he's loudmouth lefty who upsets weirdo right wingers. So I was following him on Twitter for ages before I ever read any of his or listened to audiobooks of any of his books. I don't mind if I've seen this debate online as well. Is it reading if you listen to an audiobook? I mean, yes, it is. I personally tend to say I'm listening to the book with an audiobook. If someone says they're reading a book when they listen to an audiobook, I'm not going to be a dick and think, you're not reading it, you're listening to it. It's fine. But yeah, actually, I did see someone bring this up online that reading stuff in isolation is a relatively recent invention. For quite a while, most people experienced books via public readings. So, you know. Will Schrodinger's cat come back? I reckon that was murder. If a scientist sets up a version of the Schrodinger's cat experiment that kills the cat. That's not actually. Oh my God. Sorry, I just thought of something. With meat production, I think it only counts for humans. Because if killing animals was murder and they came back, imagine what that would do to meat production. Does the steak disappear? So I think it has to only apply to humans. It can't apply to killing animals. It would throw meat production into a tiz if it worked for animals. Have to talk cows into committing suicide. What do I think about this cold weather? It's fucking weird. It is fucking weird. Oh my God. But Abigail, yes, actually, cannibals would be disappointed because 999 times out of 1,000, their meal would disappear. When they killed them, they disappear. Yep, it would be disappointing for cannibals. It would very much be disappointing for cannibals. I suppose they'd start eating living people. Oh my God! Why would I even say that? Because that's what would happen. Oh my God! Oh, there you go, Megaleech. You went in the same direction. Okay. Oh, well, you did it with cows. Sorry, I've told this story before on streams. When I was out with some people. This is back when I was at fucking college in a restaurant, and I thought the menu in this place was interesting. They had quails. It's like these other people I was with, they were getting steak. And I said, oh, quail, that sounds interesting. I've never had that. I'll have that. And these girls got really upset. I said, why are you upset? You're not vegetarian, you're having steak. And I said, yeah, but that's a whole life. And I was like, what? If you have quail, that's the whole life. You know, we're only eating a bit of a cow. And I go, do you think there's a cow out in a paddock on crutches because we cut a bit off? No, they killed an entire cow to get your steak. That steak's a whole life. No, it's not. And I went, okay, I don't want to upset you. I'll order something else. Anyway, sometime down the track, I was at the same restaurant with different people, and I thought, you know what? These people aren't fucking weirdos. I'm getting the quail. And I wanted the quail, and it was 3 fucking quails. It was 3 quails. And I thought, oh my God, it is so lucky I did not get this with these people who are upset about a whole life, because my meal was 3 whole lives. But I still love the idea of a cow with an artificial leg, because we just cut a bit off it for steaks, but we didn't want to kill the cow. So we just cut a leg off and then gave it a prosthetic leg. I actually like that as an idea. But yes, it turns out it was really lucky I didn't press the point and order quail with these people who were upset about a whole life, because it turned out to be 3 whole lives. And I would not have been popular at that point. I was just imagining those people if a plate came out to me and it had 3 tiny dead birds on it. It's like, yeah, yikes. No, Safri, it wasn't intuition. I was just trying not to upset these people I was with. Not saying I wanted to, get it on with one of them. I almost did with one of them. I'm much further down the track. This night wasn't a date thingy, but But then I started sort of having a thing, and she dumped me on Valentine's Day. Holy shit, what the fuck was that? Safa, should you go to dance? I don't know. Do you need booze, mate? Oh my God, I was in the city and I found my favorite thing, a big tub of shit that's on sale. They go, last chance, we're not having this anymore. And I was just digging through it going, oh, what the fuck's in here? And I got a white rum that I had actually bought before from one of these sale bins, an Australian white rum. It's very yummy. What else did I get? I think I got a gin. I bought 2 bottles. I can't even remember what the other was. But I was going to get a bourbon. There was like a boutique American bourbon that was really marked down. And I was going to get that. And then I went, yeah, no, fuck it. No. The only thing I got from the sale bin was the white rum. I bought that. I bought this. The Archie Rose Straight Dry Gin, which has the angry seal of approval. This is notably cheaper than other Australian gins. It's really nice, easy drinks. It's surprisingly sweet. Makes a really good martini. I think it'd make a really fucking good gin and tonic too. Not really a gin and tonic person, but I think it'd make a good gin and tonic. Yeah, Safa, I don't think she was particularly vindictive. It was very complex. The whole situation was very complex. Basically, I think the big thing was she was very conservative politically and socially, and she knew I wasn't. And she's like, this is not going to work. And I was like, Jesus, do you have to fucking do this on Valentine's Day? And again, because we'd actually been separated for quite a while. We were in different cities, and then she came back to where we were at college, and it just happened to be Valentine's Day, which is when she said, I don't think this is going to work. And I was going, Soup, you are literally dumping me on Valentine's Day. Fucking hell. That's tough. But yes. So I was going to get this sort of boutique American bourbon, and then I just thought, I've got way too many whiskey. I have way too many whiskeys here. So I didn't. Moment of willpower for angry. Woohoo! So yeah. Rays, what's up, man? Sorry, now we're all going, well, damn me, dumped on Valentine's Day. Yeah. I don't think she was vindictive. I actually think, I thought at the time, kind of still think I was punching above my weight, as they say. She was a fucking babe. She was gorgeous. And it was really funny. It was, okay, so I'll paint a picture for you. So this is back in Bathurst when I was at college. Big gap between the end of the student year and the start of the next one. It's like 3 months. There's 3 months of nothing. And I wasn't going to go back to Dubbo, so I tended to hang out in Bathurst. And then there were these 3 young women I knew who were doing the teaching degree. And I'd worked with one of them. We'd worked at Pizza Hut together. And then she had her housemates. And they were fun. We would go out. We would hang out because it was in this big limbo between academic years. And there's not much to do but fucking hang out and do shit. And yeah, one of the young ladies in there, I mean, they were all nice. I liked all of them. But one of them was fucking hot. And it happened. Okay, I'm going to set the scene. This is like a soap opera I'm setting up now. It was New Year's Eve. And yeah, we'd been hanging out for a month at this point, just socializing and whatnot. And there was just a little moment at the end of New Year's Eve, and she did this little clutch thing, like, because we were hanging out. She go, "Oh, you know, I wish I had a guy like you." And I'm like, Jesus, I'm right fucking here. And nothing happened that night. But soon after, we got to the making out stage, and that was pretty good. And then she was away for a while, and then she came back, and it was like, yeah, because Valentine's Day, February 14th, was still before uni started. Uni didn't start till March. And yeah, and she came back, and we're hanging out, and it was like, oh, it's not going to work. Is that what you're telling me? Damn. Could we not? I was this close to saying, can we just have meaningless sex then? You know, because I've been like hanging out for this for a while, and you're saying this isn't going to work, and I'm kind of guessing you're right, but I don't know. Can we have meaningless sex now? Didn't happen. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. But you know, life's like that. Life has disappointments. I think Mrs. Angry can hear me say this. I just heard Mrs. Angry laughing in the next room. That could be completely unrelated to anything I'm saying. She's playing a video game. She might be laughing about something in the video game. Or she might have heard everything I'm saying and she's having a laugh. Either is fine. But yes. And Mimsy's just waiting for me to go to bed. I'm going to go to bed soon, Mimsy. It's 5 to 10. Exactly. Megaleech, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Ugh. But yes, you know, I don't know. We made out a bit, but even back then, this is a funny thing. Even back then in the 80s, early 90s, I was doing stuff that you would be nowadays people say is woke, politically correct. one of my housemates in the early 90s, who was an incredibly talented artist, she did this cartoon. She did a little cartoon drawing of me with me saying, yeah, well, actually, I think that's quite offensive. Just like, oh my God. So in the early 90s, I was doing sort of modern day woke stuff saying, yeah, actually, I think it's quite offensive. I wish I could find that because I think I kept it. It's probably in a box or a scrapbook somewhere. Probably going to do a bit of, I'm going to have a couple of weeks off over Christmas. And so is Mrs. Angry, and we might do a bit of sorting of various crap we have in this house. I might actually find weird old stuff like this. Who knows? But yes, when I remember this particular little cartoon she did of me back in the early 90s, you'd swear it'd be something from the internet today. And me going, yeah, well, actually, I find that really offensive. So, yes, I was just as annoying and politically correct in my early 20s as I am now. So I've been a fucking pain for 30 years as far as I can. 35, 40 years? I don't know. Time means nothing. Safa, approximately half Tim Smith tonight. I was going fine, and then I did a martini with this, which was A, super yummy, B, pushed me quite into the half Tim Smith material, and then because I was bored, I did pour myself one of my batch cocktails which are in the fridge. Definitely half Tim Smith at the moment. And yes, party night tomorrow. Going to build up to that. Get some proper sleep tonight. And Mimsy, who's down here getting patted on the head, because that's how she likes it. And she's going to like when I go to bed, because then you can sit on me, can't you? Or next to me. Don't really like it when you sit on me in the bed. Although she does tend to sit on me after party night when I pass out on the lounge. I wake up and she's sitting on my chest. Isn't that right, Mimsy? Yeah, cheeky bugger. I have been reliably informed, Safa. I'm very grumpy if I don't get proper sleep. I've been told. Lee, you're on Facebook tonight. Deleting Twitter. Elon Musk fucking sucks balls, man. He's such a fucking loser. This is like the first few nails in the coffin of his reputation are happening now. I feel reasonably confident in 5 years he'll be the punchline of a whole bunch of jokes like, oh my God, do you remember when there was a time when people thought Elon Musk was competent and they were even suggesting he was a genius? And now we know he's a fucking moron. Because he is. He's a weird fucking narcissistic fucking moron. It's bizarre how stupid he is, quite honestly. So yes, I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to put my CPAP machine on. I'm going to put my whole fucking headgear on so I breathe properly through the night and don't stop breathing 40 times an hour. So I'll stop breathing a mere 1 to 4 times an hour. Because I score my sleep. I talk about this all the time. November was a perfect month. November was my first perfect month. I got 100% on my sleep score. My sleep is gamified. It's weird. Thank you for the happy breathing wish, Dr. Abigail. And yes, Lee, the official, even though this is a made-up thing, the official world richest person is a dude who owns all the luxury brands, Louis Vuitton, all the fashion brands, and also the alcohol ones. Yes, I love to get affirmation that I have breathed successfully during the night. So, what's most common is, like I said, my sleep study said I stopped breathing almost 40 times an hour. With a CPAP machine, the stop breathing events per hour vary between 1 and 4 times. So basically, the CPAP machine reduces the stopping breathing from 90 to 99%, depending on the night. Bit of variation. But all in all, it's pretty good. So, sleepy bobos, I mean, there's not much pressure on me at work tomorrow because I'm not going to. Going to go to bed, going to be at a reasonable time, and we can party tomorrow night. We'll see what happens. Anything could happen. Dr. Abigail, again, on a Discord or something, talk to you about something that's happening at the Elysian Bar. That's a completely separate subject. The current subject is saying goodnight and going to bed. That's what's happening. Good night, you fabulous people. I love yous all, as Jeff Fennick famously said. And if you're around tomorrow night, I'll see you for party night.